Minister, you're also on record in 2021, to be specific, in October. You did suspend operations at this particular mine because of the teething problems that were there. And you did highlight that you will need at least a month to resolve some of these issues. And if all goes to the worst, maybe 60 days. But 3 years later, Minister, this is when we're getting to see this mine now being reopened. Why has it taken...
Which one?
We're talking about this very mine, Kasenseli.
Okay, when you talk about Kasenseli, yes, when we went there, we closed it, we said maybe in the next 60 days we'll open. Now, you know the way things are. If something you are looking at from a distance, you will think that the problems are just as small as looking at the mining methods they are using and all that. When we closed, then we discovered a lot of things, lack of accountability, illegal mining itself, and no proper mining methods. Then even the structure, the two people that were, there was a company called PCB and Campoko who were, collapsing one company to form Kasenseli. They were busy fighting and they took us to court in the process. And that also delayed because, court processes, there's no way you can, make them go quicker. But what is important now is that the mine has opened. I think that is important.
Now, Minister, I understand there's a couple of mines, obviously, that you are overseeing. And again, I'm bringing you back to the goal of 3 million metric tons. We unfortunately have been hit by this, I'll just use this term loosely, unforeseen circumstance with the drought and this affecting load shedding, which is affecting the energy sector, which is very important for your sector, for you to produce and reach this goal. To what extent do you feel you've been set back to reach that 3 million metric tons, with load shedding being the topic of conversation in the energy sector for a greater part of, 2 years now?
So the mining companies themselves, they have come to the table and discussions were underway with ZESCO, and they've been allowed to import. You know that there are some reforms that have taken place in the energy sector, which have allowed mining companies themselves to actually make arrangements with certain power suppliers, and they are importing that power into their mines. So, yes, it has affected a little, but I think that, like I've told you, Kansanshi alone is posting 22% increase in production. Mopani, which we opened recently, is posting, it has already, gone to 37% in terms of production. So you can see that it's the environment itself has made it possible for these companies to thrive even when amidst issues of drought. Now imagine if, God willing, next year there is no drought, the power is resolved, and I know that the president is working very hard to make sure that the power issues are resolved. I know that next year it is going to be different, and I believe that we are going to even beat the 1 million psychological barrier.
In conclusion, Minister, very quickly, I would like us to talk about the incidents that are affecting, some of these mines at these dump sites where we're seeing a number of illegal miners losing their lives. How are you responding to this? Because we understand that even after incidents of this nature happen, these individuals still go back to these dump sites and continue the operations, and it's business as usual. What is government doing about this?
We as government have said we'll formalize operations, maybe at dump sites, and there are dump sites right now that are very formalized and they are working very well. But there are still those that sneak into these mines. And this government has said we are highly intolerable to illegal mining. We will not tolerate it. But people still do sneak. It's like you have the police, you have to curb criminality, but still criminals go and steal, isn't it? That is the way nature is. Even when you have the police, you have everything, they are checking, even when there are curfews, but you still have thieves going around to steal. But you won't say, no, we'll stop policing. You still continue policing, you investigate why it keeps happening until you reach a point where you will have dealt with a problem. And this government is doing exactly that.